Welcome to the live show with me, 11 p.m. And today, wanted. I'm most probably this is my last interaction, my last live before in this year, and in that context, uh, in that context, I thought I'll do a straight heart to heart talk with you guys. It's been 20. I think I remember Happy New Year 1995. My first batch of students were people who were preparing for exams in 1995. It's been 27 years, almost been a lifetime, I guess. Those of you who going for these exams, for your career build based exams now. I've taught a generation before you. I've taught parents, your parents' generation, kind of, because my first batch of students were people who had passed out of college between 1990 to 95, and it's been a great life. I've had a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of learnings, and I think I've been fortunate uh, in. In the fact that I got to live this life where I was always having a ringside view of learning and learning processes. And as I mentioned in one of my earlier live chats with you guys, uh, thanks, Mishix. As I was mentioning in one of my earlier live chats, very early in my training career, I defined my and I'm a lot of my students are now CEOs and top corporate bosses, and a lot of in between I did a lot of training for IAS and other exams. Also, I was involved at Vajiram and Ravi for a few years. Yeah, I'll talk about the CSAT also, Dinesh. So I was running their CSAT courses at Vajiram and Ravi, New Delhi, between 2010 to 2014-15. And so a lot of my students are also IAS officers and IPS officers across the country. So it's been a good life, and very early in my life, I tried to define, and this is something that I always tell people to do. That whenever you get a task, whenever you get a challenge in life, try to go beyond. This is one of the things that will always keep you in good stead. Don't limit yourself to the definition that the world gives you. Always try to do a little bit more. Always try to do a little bit more, because the basic thumb rule that I have always followed, and I tell people to follow, is that people want to go after money, people want to go after position, people want to go after fame, etc. But एक बेसिक premise है लाइफ का, जिसको तुमको याद रखना चाहिए, and that premise is कि अगर तुम कुछ यूजफुल करोगे, if you do something useful for the world, forget the world, for somebody else, you do something which is useful for one person who's not you, तुमको इतना वापस मिलेगा, इतना ज़्यादा वापस मिलेगा कि you can't imagine. So the perspective of your life as you build a career, and you try to look at the careers of anybody who's made it big, etc. You'll realize that this service mindset, this mindset of doing something good, with the task you are assigned, or doing something good with the challenges you face in life, is one of the most critical aspects of uh, of making it big in life. So you keep this mindset that आज के बाद में, and it's a good point to actually pick up new mindsets. It's a new year. New year resolutions come up around this time. We start trying to think about how we want to live 2023. What kind of achievements we want to have in 2023. Where do I want to be at the end of 2023, etc. And let me finish this heart to heart. उसके बाद वो डिसीजन मेकिंग का भी बात कर लेते हैं, फिर UPSC CSAT का भी बात करते हैं. Let me answer those two questions today. Although this is not a question answer session, but these questions keep coming up all the time, so I'll keep doing this. And since I'm live every night at 11 p.m., we will be able to talk a lot about various issues over this thing. So all of you who think that there's some value in what I'm doing can actually follow, and not just follow the videos yourself, but also recommend it to people around you who and to people other people. ठीक है. So I'm Sanu, I'll ask you to put your question a little bit later. This is one mindset that you should have in any task you do. In fact, a lot of you know me for my quants book, and when I was starting to write that quants book back in 2002 2003, it's been 2 decades now, and we have sold close to 2 million copies, 2.5 million copies of that book now in the last 20 years. And whenever uh, I look back at what my first thought was. My first thought was that I have to try to create a product or a book that actually solves a problem for other people in terms of how to create. I could see that there was a very big gap in the kind of quality of writing available in terms of I mean, barely 5-7 years before I became an author, I was myself trying to look for books. Maybe not 7, but maybe around 9 years before that, I was myself looking for books for myself to prepare for these exams. And I remember I had gone to a place called Upadhyay Chowk in Pune back in 1992, where before I was preparing for CAT, and I was trying to look at it's the bookshop area of Pune. And for those of you from Pune, I was doing my engineering there from Maharashtra Institute of Technology, Pune, at that time. And at that time, CAT seemed to be a very distant dream for me, because मेरे कॉलेज से किसी का हुआ नहीं था कभी IIM में. Nobody had ever gone to IIM from my college. And when I started to think that maybe I can do it, the first thing people told me around me, everybody told me, ये बहुत मुश्किल चीज़ है, it's very difficult, and it's not meant for private engineering college students. And that's the starting point. And around that time, when I was looking for a book for preparing for aptitude exams, etc., I tried to look through all the books covers that were there. Covers तो थे, लेकिन अंदर में content was so poor that I realized 4 years later, 5 years later, when 2-3 years later, I started training people. And then when I got this opportunity, I realized the problem is that nobody's done anything good quality in terms of this. So my only thought process was कि okay, let me try to be gold standard. Let me try to be world class in what I do with my writing opportunity. And that's how it started. That's how the whole journey started. And it's been, of course, as I said, overall around 3-4 million books across the sections. And it's been a privilege. Of course, there have been ups and downs. There have been hiccups. Also, there have been years in which errors have crept into the books, etc. But we try to keep close tab now to make sure that through the production process, something which is not which should not happen, something which should not happen does not happen when the books are produced. So anyway, so that was it. So people who are talking about CSAT, UPSC CSAT के बारे में, let me just give my thoughts to you. Now, when you're preparing for UPSC CSAT, the CSAT exam is basically a qualifying exam for the IAS prelims exam, and your paper 1, GS paper 1 will not be marked. तुम्हारे GS paper 1 को देखेंगे ही नहीं अगर तुम CSAT क्लियर नहीं करोगे. It's plain and simple. CSAT क्लियर नहीं करोगे तो GS paper 1 तुम्हारा मार्क ही नहीं होगा. So you have to get 66 marks, 33% marks. And initially, when this was announced by the UPSC, a lot of people rejoiced कि अब CSAT से हमको छुटकारा मिल गया, etc. But I used to tell people then, and I talk about it now also, कि अगर aptitude test में अगर 33%, मतलब अगर मेरे को एक aptitude test बनाना है जिसमें out of 100 people who take the exam, only 1 or 2 people should be able to score 33%, I can make that. And in fact, if you look at the exams, इस साल देख लो कैट का देख लो 40% में तो 99 परसेंटाइल है. So 33% marks is 66, 67 marks and 95, 96 percentile आ गया उसमें इस साल. So only 4 people out of 100 have scored 33%. So UPSC is also going in that direction. अभी उतना difficult नहीं हुआ है. I think my estimate would be maybe around 30% people are still scoring 33% easily. But if you look at the pattern and the way it's going over the past few years, and UPSC from any angle does not think about does not think about or does not uh, think of itself as a exam conducting body which creates simple exams. So all of you who are giving IAS, the UPSC exam for the IAS know that better than me in that sense. And likewise in CSAT also, I mean, the news is going to, has started tightening, and the last year's CSAT paper, this year's CSAT paper was pretty respectably tough in terms of, I could see a lot of questions which in the CSAT which most of my CAT students will struggle in solving. So although the proportion is still less, so you still have those pressure release questions available in the CSAT, but your preparation needs to become more and more thorough, because it's the gate. Unless you cross the gate, you're not going to get through into any of the other marked parts of your exam. And if you want to score 33%, you don't prepare for 33%, you prepare for around 45-50%. So that you can score around, out of 200 marks, you should be able to, the CSAT paper ka structure is kitty questions and 200 marks, 2.5 marks per question and minus 0.83 per wrong answer. And typically if you try to aim for 66, 70, etc. out of 200, तो हुआ क्या कि 2-3 क्वेश्चन अगर गलत हो गए, तुम्हारा कहीं कैलकुलेशन गलत हो गया, कहीं 1-2 सिली एरर हो गए, तो तुम्हारा स्कोर सडनली डिप कर जाएगा. बिकॉज if you solve, let's say, 30 questions for 75 marks and you assume that everything I'm solving is 100% correct, तो एक भी क्वेश्चन उसमें गलत अगर होता है तो प्लस 2.5 के बदले माइनस 0.83 आता है, तो नेट इफेक्ट इज 3.33 मार्क्स. तो 75 मार्क्स का अगर सॉल्व किया हो तो 3 क्वेश्चन गलत हो गया तो तुम क्वालिफाइंग से नीचे चले गए. So that's how it is. So just make sure that you prepare for 50. And generally aptitude exam जो है ना, वो एक और thumb rule है, which is because there are a lot of people who are watching these videos from different perspectives. Aptitude में जो 99 percentile score होता है typically, वो vary करता है exam level के ऊपर. And some exams have 99 percentile at 40%, like CAT has ZAT का भी करीब 40-45% पे 99 percentile आ जाता है. और जो easier exams होते हैं जिसमें scoring is faster, जैसे IP MAT हो गया etc., उसमें you have to score around 65-70% to be amongst the toppers. So your net score should be 65-70%. तो अगर IP MAT का पेपर है out of 400 marks, you should try to score around 260 to 280 net after deductions. So whichever exam you're taking an aptitude, try to understand whether it's a 40% exam, that means the 40% for the topper exam, or a 70% for the topper exam. Right, so that's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, state board से किया हो तो भी intermediate किया हो तो you can still prepare for CAT. There's no issue on that. So I'll come back to you tomorrow, and maybe not tomorrow. First of January को मिलते हैं. And अगर time मेरे पास बचता है तो if I have got some time tomorrow, I might come in live for 5 minutes at the same time, 11 p.m. So Sanu, can you just put that question again? And I promise you that I'll answer this. IMA FIBM आ जाएगा बैंक तुमको, और थोड़ा छोटा वो डालो, बिकॉज छोटा क्वेश्चन डालो. अच्छा, डिसीजन मेकिंग में प्रतीक क्या, सॉरी आई फॉरगॉट दैट. डिसीजन मेकिंग में देयर आर 2 kinds of questions that you'll build on. मोस्टली कॉमन सेंस होता है डिसीजन मेकिंग. तो देयर आर 2 kinds of questions. एक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव डिसीजन मेकिंग होता है which is just कॉमन सेंस. या यू कैन ट्राई गैप ईयर अगर है ग्रेजुएशन के पहले तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Otherwise, you can try. You can definitely try. There's no issue, Sano. And 10th 12th तो डिसेंट है तुम्हारा. ग्रेजुएशन बहुत सारे कॉलेजेस आजकल देख नहीं रहे. सो दैट्स एन दिस थिंग. आई एम के पॉसिबल है 97 परसेंटाइल पे नॉन इंजीनियर. ठीक है, चलो. सो दैट्स अबाउट इट. सो आज के लिए I'll wind up then. Very happy new year to all of you. And CAT versus GMAT. अभी CAT दो सुशांत. GMAT 3 4 5 years के बाद GMAT हो जाता है एग्जाम. 5 years. You are on the borderline right now. ठीक है. SC का FMS कट ऑफ should be low. Not very high. 70 75 में आ जाना चाहिए. चलो ठीक है. Thank you so much. So DM, so let me finish that. DM में you've got administrative decision making questions and you've got quantitative decision making questions. 90% of the questions which are coming over the last few years are administrative decision making questions. Quantitative decision making जब आ जाता है, where you have to crunch numbers etc., it becomes more or less like a DI set. And sometimes it's become very difficult. So अगर solve कर रहे हो तो वैसा कुछ मिलता है in the paper, तो उसको just plan a little bit. Just plan to make sure that you don't get stuck in that. So that's one thing you need to remember. Otherwise, the administrative decision making questions are pretty commonsensical. You should, preparation wise, you should just do the last 10 12 15 years of ZAT papers. Of ZAT papers, and that's about it. That's the preparation. उसे एक mindset create हो जाएगा और एक decision making में एक perspective. It looks like an RC question, but it's not an RC question, because RC question में क्या होता है कि you have to perceive the author's point of view and answer the question. You have to perceive the author's idea and answer the question. Decision making में क्या होता है कि there is a problem to be solved or a decision to be taken. And when you're taking a decision, it is from the perspective of somebody who's a stakeholder in the case. So you have to understand from that perspective. You have to solve the question from that perspective. To give you a simple example of that, how the same question, the same answer for the same question for the same situation, an answer might differ if there are two different perspectives. ठीक है ना. So what happens is that जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल सपोज एक कंपनी है जो एक एडवर्टाइजिंग कैंपेन में जाना चाह रही है और उसमें they want to hire a brand ambassador and the cost of the brand ambassador is 25 crores for the campaign. So they can run the campaign without the brand ambassador and they can run the campaign with the brand ambassador, right? तो अगर ये दोनों पर्सपेक्टिव है तो should they hire the brand ambassador? Let's say this is the question. तो इस क्वेश्चन का अगर आंसर देखोगे from the perspective of the marketing and sales people, तो आंसर completely different निकलेगा. If you look at it from the perspective of the finance people in the same company, तो आंसर totally different निकलेगा. So that's how decision making में your perspective becomes important. Yeah, I mean next year देखेगा कि नहीं देखा, कल क्या होगा नहीं होगा, etc. Nobody knows. So you focus on this thing. Maybe I'll do a GMAT specific this thing later. GMAT पे 800 की बात हो रही है. You need to get the highest bands on both verbal as well as quants to get there. And it's not. I mean, if you can get the highest band both skill wise, so you can get 800. Nobody can stop you. But it's rare to find people who have the same level of skills and the highest level of skills in both sections, which is why GMAT में 800 कम लोग को आता है. चलो. So I'll wind up then. Thank you so much. It was great talking to all of you, and Happy New Year. And make your New Year resolutions. Remember what I talked about at the start. Whatever you do in life, try to focus on being useful to others, and the more you do that, the more you will grow in life. If you start solving other people's problems, the world will give you back much more than you deserve. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everybody. Bye bye.